I am Rabbi Brett Critchever. This is Tammy Critchever, soloist, and it is a pleasure to welcome not only those of you who are here in person, but also those who are able to join us through our live stream. This is our technology. We're all entering the 21st century all at once. And also, I know that the Fingerhut family has set up a Zoom room for those in the family, and welcome to all of you. This is a very special day. And Eleni and Lilia have worked very, very hard to present to you a service, to share some of their teaching with you, and to really embrace the idea of this path that they are on to Jewish adulthood. It has been our distinct pleasure to share that journey with them and to celebrate it with them now. For those of you who are on, actually I'm going to turn on my mic. I don't think I'm on yet. How's that? A little bit better. There we go. For those of you who are on the internet and are joining us, I just would like to say that there are a few in our sanctuary. We are taking a lot of precautions, masks and social distancing and so forth. It's really wonderful to be able to extend that circle and have you with us. And we know that there are a lot of very important people to the Fingerhut family who are able to join us. So we're saying hello to all of you and thank you for joining us today. We are going to be behind plexiglass for much of the service so that we might be able to sing. But before we begin, I would like to offer us an opportunity to welcome this Shabbat together. Shabbat is an opportunity for us not only to rest, but also to reflect on the kinds of people that we want to be, the kind of world that we are trying to build together. What are those values that we'd like to stand upon, and how do we move the world in that direction? We might begin with breath, just allowing ourselves into this moment of Shabbat by setting aside the work that has been building up for us during the week, allowing us to fully arrive present in this moment. So we'll do a little bit of that with singing. We will share some of the words with you. We hope that you have one of the handouts that the Fingerhut family has provided, and you'll learn a little bit more about the service that way. But if you would, just with me, let's take a deep breath in and try to exhale all of the preparations for this day, the traveling, the social distancing to get us in the right chairs in the sanctuary. Try to deep breathe in again and try to take in this celebration. What does it mean to us to have these two wonderful young women celebrating Judaism with us? We hope that you'll join us in song as well.
Shabbat Shalom. I would just like to invite you to tap your toes, move your hands, hum in your masks if you're in a mask. If you're at home, to sing out. That even if you don't know the words, this is a day of real joy and celebration. It's a chance for us to thank God for this day and to celebrate with the Fingerhut family as they reach this milestone. So we'll begin with Hava Nashira. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah.
Sing this song in praise.
Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah.
Sing Yom Zeh L'Yisrael. This is a day for us to feel surrounded by community, a day for us to celebrate our peoplehood, La la la, I can easily translate for you. That means la la la. So we hope that you'll join with us in that part at least.
Yom Zeh Yisrael Orav V'Simcha Shabbat Menucha Yom Zeh Yisrael Orav V'Simcha Shabbat Menucha Yalalai, 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 yalalai. Yom Zeh Yisrael Orav V'Simcha Shabbat Menucha Yom Zeh Yisrael Orav V'Simcha Shabbat Menucha Yalalai, 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 yalalai,
So in just a moment, we're going to invite the morning blessings to continue. We're going to invite up Lilia and Eleni's grandparents to share a word of blessing. But we are noticing that we are not only on the cutting edge of technology, we are also on the bleeding edge of technology. And we have a little issue with our Zoom link. So I want to make sure that we have those folks back before we continue. Is that going to work, do you think? We have the opportunity to share more singing with you then. As our staff and volunteers handle the technology, we are so grateful for our volunteers for being here. Thank you to our volunteers for being here and to our staff. Give me a thumbs up, Aaron, when we're back online, if you will. And meanwhile, the morning blessings for Shabbat actually are extensive. So we'll share just a few.
And I'm going to begin actually with a new goon, which is a song without words. Very easy to hum along with.
Even in our masks, how to do this song together. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. The second part was like this. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Please join with us. La 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 la. La Israelite tribes gathered in their tents as they made their way across the desert and shared these morning blessing words. We've incorporated into our service. How beautiful are your tents, O children of Jacob, Ma Tovu Ohalecha Yaakov. As we imagine this space and perhaps even stretching out into the internet universe as one large tent, inviting us all in, welcoming us all this morning. Shenatata bi tehorahi. Oh God, we pray each and every morning, the soul that you have returned to our bodies is a pure one. And we'll wait for the internet to come back up, and they'll join in the middle, I guess. But for now, I would like to invite up Lilia and Eleni's grandparents, Walt and Jane Gans, as well as Bruce, and Lila Fingerhut to share their reading. Is one of you going first and then second? Why don't you guys come up first then? We can have you up here since no one's used it yet. Once you get up here, if you want to take it off, that's great.
Good morning.
Good morning.
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 Oops. Glasses, excuse me.
Here you go.
Glasses.
Oh, yes.
Another pause.
That if you were shown tolerance, you will be patient with others.
That if you are treated fairly, you will be a seeker of justice.
That if you were shown commitment to causes and issues, then you know you can make a difference.
That if you felt friendship, you will find love in the world.
May you know the difference between being smart and being wise.
May you be strong but not tough, gentle but not weak.
May you always remember the roots from where you came. They will help you in where you're going.
Eleni and Lilia, may the spirit and song of our collective past dance forever in your soul.
Amen. Thank you so much.
A poem by Shelley Nicely Groff. As you travel along the path that will be your life, may you walk on firm ground and the wind at your back and the sun shining gently on your face. May your mind, body, and hands be strong, and may thy work be guided by both the wisdom of your soul and the compassion of your heart. May you draw from the strength and wisdom of our tradition and those who came before you and make them your own. May you have beautiful dreams which inspire you, and may your pursuit of those dreams be fulfilling. May your successes be many, and when you don't succeed, may you learn and grow from the experience and go on. May you always give yourself the gift of learning something new. May you have the courage of conviction and patience to fight for what you know to be right. May you laugh often. May you always go to sleep at night with the feeling of satisfaction that comes from a day well lived. May you always have peace in your home and in your heart. May you know unbridled joy, and may your sorrows be few and far between. May you find true, enduring love, and may you be blessed with children as wonderful as you. May you always have good friends. May you always feel the love of family and friends as you take your place among the Jewish people of your generation. May you live a long, healthy, happy, and peaceful life. And may you be the change you want to see in the world.
Thank you so much. Amen to both of those beautiful blessings. The traditional service begins with a call to worship after we have prepared ourselves, body, mind, and soul, for the words of gratitude that we'd like to offer. For those who are able, here in our sanctuary, I'd invite you to please rise. We will be rising and sitting during the service. If you are at home and able to watch, then please feel free to do what is comfortable. But for now, we invite you to join with us in the call to worship, our Baruch Hu.
And I'd like to invite Lilia and Eleni to come forward to the B'not this time. We welcome you as you step forward to lead your portion of the service.
We join together in the Fingerhut. We join together in the Shema. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcomed than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeharot. We join together in the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'elef asher anochi mitzvavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinotam levanecha v'divartam bam v'shitecha v'techa u'lechtecha v'derek u'kshotecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot ayadecha v'hayu l'totavot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'b'sharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לבריכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Service continues with a reminder of the Israelites at the shores of the sea crossing to freedom's journey.
Our service continues with the Amidah on page 205. Please rise.
Adonai sefatita u'viyayita ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Hagadol, Hagibor, Ra, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hasdei Avot V'Imahot, V'Mikei Geulah L'Bnei Chayim, L'man Shemo Be'ahavat, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezras Harav. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol Atah L'Shia, Morim Hatah. Mechagel Chaim Behesed, Mechayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Nofrim Verochei Holim, U'matir Asurim, U'mekayem be seated.
On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Grant us enough health to fulfill our duties and the compassion we need to attend to others.
Teach us the humility that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Give us the courage to be true to our highest selves and the charity to see the best in those around us.
Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you.
We praise you,
Adonai,
Adonai,
whom
whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yira na'avod.
The next prayer thanks God for the many blessings in our lives. For the expanding grandeur of creations, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, we offer thanks to you. Modim Anav Nulah.
For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons. Modim Anav Nulah.
For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. Modim Anav Nulah.
For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending in all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Modim Anav Nulah.
For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared.
Modim Anav Nulah.
For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others may live in dignity and freedom.
Modim Anav Nulah.
For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose.
Modim Anav Nulah.
We pray that we may not live not by our fears but by our hopes, not by our words but by our deeds. Baruch atah Adonai, hadov shimcha,
ulecha na'ed lahodot. As we transition to prayer for peace, I'd like to say that the girls are leading us beautifully in prayer as they've prepared so much for this day. And what we really need more than anything in our world right now is a sense of peace. Peace in our world, peace inside of ourselves, peace in our communities. So we offer this Sim Shalom, a prayer for peace. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la ya la 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 la. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. We take a moment for our own silent meditations, for our own silent prayer at this time.
words of our mouths, the meditations of our hearts be acceptable unto you, our rock and our Redeemer. We offer together, Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for leading us so beautifully in prayer. It is time now to move to the next part of our service, which is called Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for the reading of the Torah, our sacred scripture. We're going to begin by giving all of you a sense of what this Torah portion is about. Now, both Lilia and Eleni have thought deeply about this Torah portion, and they both have some thoughts to share. So we'd like to invite you both up. Before we get the Torah out and read from it, we'd like to give you a chance to offer your words.
My Torah portion is near the end of the Torah. Moses has just led the Israelites across the desert. Everything is wrapping up and they are free. They are about to enter Israel and the people begin to worry that it isn't going to be everything that they think it is. They worry that it might have been better to be slaves in Egypt. So they decided to send spies in to tell them how it is. 10 of the 12 spies reported back and said that it was horrible. After seeing this, God decides that they are not ready and banned them to wander the desert for 40 years. Moses uses this time to review what they have learned. My Torah portion is a review of one of the lessons the Israelites learned throughout their journey. I'm going to tell you about the lesson my Torah portion is trying to teach by sharing an example of what it's like to be a kid in my family. When I was younger, my siblings and I would fight over what's fair. We would fight over who got to pick up the dog's poop, who would sit where during movies, and pretty much anything else you can think of. Now I know, though, that not everything is fair. I have learned to accept the fact that I can't always get what I want, and we'll have to do more in life, even small things like walking the dog, because as a family we're so lucky to have this much. Instead of fighting over what is fair, we need to be grateful to even have this stuff. This is what my Torah portion is trying to teach us about. An example of this is in the Torah in chapter 24, verse 12 through 13. It says, "A cloak or blanket given in pledge must be returned at night so that the borrower can use it as a covering at night." This teaches us that This teaches us to always think about doing what is right, and in this case, we shouldn't take something like a blanket from somebody if they need it for warmth. We have to do more than what is fair in life because not everybody else is capable of doing their part. If somebody poor owes you money, but it is all the money they have, or they don't have the money, the Torah is saying that you can't take it from them. This isn't fair, but because you have more, you don't need it as much as them, and therefore you shouldn't take it. I believe this part of the Torah is trying to teach us that just because something isn't fair doesn't mean it is not right. You might think that being fair would be good enough. You are doing your part, and so is everybody else. Nobody has to do more or less than expected of them. It seems great, but that is not what Jewish tradition is saying. In the Torah, it says that because we have a greater responsibility because we are very fortunate and have more. Because we have more, we have responsibility to do more. This is the idea of equality versus equity. Equality is giving everyone the same amount or doing the same thing for everyone. But on the other hand, equity is giving everyone what they need. In the end, equity leads to real equality. An example of this is 3 people trying to look over a fence. The first person can see over the fence. The second one can almost see over the fence, but not quite. And the third one is not even close. Equality would be giving each person the same size stool, but equity would be giving everyone the stool they need to see over the fence. One person might receive more than someone else, but by doing this, equity leads to equality. It is my responsibility to do more as a sibling, but also as a person, to help create justice. A way to do this is by standing up for issues I care about. One of these is the Black Lives Matter movement. A way that my family is helping with this is the pop-up t-shirt business we opened. We have been making t-shirts with messages that support things we believe in, like Black Lives Matter and equal rights for LGBTQ+. This is a way that we are living our Jewish values all the time and not just in synagogue. If taking more responsibility means seeking justice, my tradition reminds me that the true meaning of tzedakah is justice. It is my job to seek justice in the world. Some of us just sit back and wait for someone else to make the world more just, but if we all do that, imagine what would happen. This is why we need to do more than what is fair. If we don't, who will? One way to take responsibility is to collect tzedakah. We do this in synagogue each week, but tzedakah doesn't just mean charity. Tzedakah means justice, so it is our job to do tzedakah and find justice in the world. I also believe that this is a way of showing us how lucky we are. We have everything we need and so much more. To me, my Torah portion is a way to make us show gratitude and push us to do more. The message for us is that we need to be good, not just fair. By doing this, we'll have to do more than some others. It isn't going to be fair, but it's what's right. To me, becoming a Bat Mitzvah means that I am taking a place in the real world. When I was younger, I didn't really know very much about these things, but now it is up to me to take more responsibility to make the world the way I think it should be. For example, my mom said that we should do something to participate in the Black Lives Matter movement, and we started our t-shirt business. We didn't take the easy route. We decided to make all the t-shirts ourselves at home rather than having some company do it for us. What we learned from that is that when you do something yourself, it feels much better in the end. Now that I am a Bat Mitzvah, I have learned that I can't just talk about things like Black Lives Matter and LGBTQ+. I will have to be willing to actually work for it, even if it means staying up late making t-shirts for everyone that my parents knew. I can now be a part of much more, and I'm able to have a voice in things going on more than before. As I do this, I have to take many more responsibilities. With these new responsibilities comes a lot of hard work, including doing more than what is fair to help create a just world.
Shabbat Shalom. I want to thank you for being here via Zoom or in person. As Lily mentioned in her speech, we are near the end of Torah, and Moses is reviewing many of the laws received at Mount Sinai. In verse 24:19 it says, "When you reap the harvest in your field and overlook a sheaf in the field, do not turn back to get it. It shall go to the stranger, the orphan, and the widow, so that your God Adonai may bless you in all your undertakings." I think that this line means that when you take your food from your garden, don't go back and get what you dropped. Other people who have less than you can take it. Most people might feel that they worked hard to farm their land, then they've deserved it to enjoy all the food or fruit because it belongs to them. They might want to eat it, sell it, or just enjoy it because they did all the work. But in my Torah portion, farmers are instructed not to turn back and pick up every sheaf that is dropped or overlooked. I think that God is reminding us to remember that there are people more vulnerable than us, and so we should share even if we don't want to or think they've not earned it. Today, most of us are not farmers, but the lesson from my Torah portion still applies. One example is at the grocery store or a restaurant. Instead of having extra food and just throwing it away or putting it to waste, we can donate that still edible food to a food bank. Think about this. I found out that every year, average human in the U.S. wastes about 103 pounds of food. As of 2018, there are 327.2 million people in the U.S. That 300 pounds of food is way too much. That could feed people for a long time. It actually adds up to 33,681,000,000 pounds of food per year. More food is wasted than expected, so we all should pay a thought of the food we put on our plates and think about those who need the food we wasted. In my Torah portion, the most vulnerable people are the orphan, widow, and those in poverty. Nowadays, in addition to what the Torah includes, vulnerable groups in our society sadly are undocumented, non-citizens, those with darker skin, refugees, the LGBTQIAPK population, single mothers, and the poor and homeless, and way too many more to name. Protecting the most vulnerable in my Torah portion is even bigger than the idea of not wasting food from a farm or grocery store. Sometimes some cycles keep people from succeeding and taking care of themselves well. Those who can help must help. Let me give you an example of a cycle that is very problematic. I think the most vulnerable nowadays are homeless because they're born into a cycle of poverty that in a society that does not often provide accurate help and resources. It is probably really hard to get out of being homeless because, for example, you could have to focus on taking care of other siblings, getting food and more. Single mothers might struggle because they can't watch over their children while having a job, and as a whole, women get paid less than men. This would be hard with, let's say, 2 kids at different ages. Maybe one will be 3 and the other can be 8. They can't afford childcare, so how are they going to be able to earn income? This stems from when women used to not be able to leave the house or even vote. Some problems nowadays are women gets paid less than men, but people are being killed for no reason except what they look like. It's hard to get out of deep poverty. Single mothers can't leave their children alone but are not paid enough to afford childcare. LGBTQIAPK people still do not have equal rights, and frankly, Trump is still president. Furthermore, some people are born into vulnerable situations, and it's hard to get out. I was told a saying, give a person a fish, feed them for a day, teach them to fish, feed them for life. One donation does help, but teaching people or training and giving support does even more. Like by giving people in need jobs or education. I must commit something. I struggle to relate because I'm so very fortunate. But with my privilege comes my responsibility and ability to help. I think the main idea of not picking up the sheep left behind is because even throughout you want something, someone else could need it way more. To me, becoming a Bat Mitzvah means I will have more responsibility to watch and help. For example, I can help by volunteering to help with yard work. for not just my family. I can work at food shelters when they are available based on COVID. I can do fundraisers to donate money and food to places where it is needed, and tons more. Next, I can be more independent in projects like my B'not Mitzvah. For me, my mitzvah project is making shirts for a good cause, like Black Lives Matter, and taking the profit to those fundraisers. My mitzvah project is only the beginning of me working to make the world a better place. I can also take leadership away from this experience. For example, instead of having fun looking around things on the computer, I can instead be using it for Torah speech. Thank you.
Thank you both. Such wonderful thoughts for us to share on the Shabbat. You know, you are both reminding me of something that is really, really important about being Jewish. There has always been the sense that studying is really important, that every line in the Torah is filled with some kind of wisdom, and that if we spend time with it, that we begin to understand how this world might actually be better. I mean, the two ideas that you presented today are really powerful ideas and really would change the world. But you said something else important too. That act of study, while really important, it can't exist all by itself. The studying that you do, whether it's Jewish text or really anything in life, it only means something when you then bring it into the world and decide you're going to do something about it. I think what was most impressive to us about the pop-up t-shirt idea was not that you had the idea. I mean, you're an incredible family, and we're not surprised at all that you had that great idea. But then you two decided, we're going to do it. You got this big machine, and you actually figured out how to make your own t-shirts. I am very excited about the t-shirt that I got out of it, because it's an important lesson to me to remember the Jewish imperative to help in the Black Lives Matter movement. But I also was just so impressed that the two of you didn't let it just sit on a shelf. As a great idea, a great opportunity to study and learn and share some words with us, you are committed to making a difference in the world. You're going to balance the learning that you do with real action, masim tovim, good deeds in the world. And that is the best lesson that you could teach us, to find that balance ourselves. So thank you for sharing those thoughts with us. May we all go out and live by your example. We're now going to share words from the Torah, and we'll hopefully keep those lessons in mind as we do that. We would like to do a tradition which is called generation to generation, where we'll take the Torah out of the ark, and then we'll literally pass it from one generation to the next, from Lilia and Eleni's grandparents to her parents, to them, and then they'll be able to read from it. So if the two of you want to put your mask back on and go stand with your family, going to invite everyone to rise, and if you could stay right where you are, grandparents, we're going to bring the Torah around to you. We are going to do this with aunts and uncles as well, and some cousins. So if I call your name, we'd like to invite you to just come right up here to the front, and we'll kind of distance up here in the front, and that way we can all be part of passing the Torah to Lilia and Eleni. We'd like to invite forward Astrid, Jeffrey, Benjamin, Winnie, Aaron, Owen, Sophie, and Alexander. And of course, we are going to have Holden and Elliot help us at the ark. So if the two of you would wait for me right up there. If everyone could kind of spread themselves out here in the front, then we'll be able to share in this passing of the Torah. Shabbat shalom to all of you. Congratulations.
We are hope, we are healing, we are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories, we are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. Dor vador nagid golecha, dor vador we protect this chain, generation to generation. Dor vador, these lips will praise your name. Dor vador nagid golecha, dor vador we protect this chain, generation to
Please be
generation. Dor vador, these lips will praise your name.
I'd like to share a thought for you as I'm going to leave the Torah portion here, and Lily and Eleni will kind of find their place. I think Lily's going to read first. Why don't the two of you come on up, and David, Rachel, you take your places here as well. I'd like to share just a word with you about this Torah scroll, because as they find their place, it's a very important part of the experience for us at our congregation to have our children read from this particular scroll whenever it's possible. It's not always possible, because it's been through a lot. This is what's called a Holocaust scroll. That means that it was rescued from the fires of the Second World War, Shoah. The Nazi Party, as they decimated Jewish communities all over Eastern Europe, they also confiscated Jewish artifacts and ritual objects and many Torah scrolls. We believe that they were intent on creating a museum for the extinct Jewish people. And we know that because they kept very careful records about where everything was from. After the war, many of those Torah scrolls were taken to England, and they were restored and then sent out on permanent loan to Jewish communities all over the world. Most of them could not go back to their hometowns because they were really destroyed. We know because of records that this one was from a small town in Czechoslovakia called Dobříž. That is, in fact, a town that is growing again. We've been in touch with the Jewish community there, and they are planning to do some events with, I think, about 12 Torah scrolls that were taken from that community and are now all over the world. So, Lilia, Eleni, it is really special for us to have you read from this particular scroll, because we don't want to let ourselves ever forget the dangers of that particular ideology and what happens even in the most civilized society when that ideology is allowed to a place in the public square, but also because we make a powerful statement by reading from it. We say that whatever happens to us in the past, whatever challenges we face, that we can emerge stronger on the other side. We have so much hope and optimism about our future, the Jewish people's future, because of the two of you. And you reading from this scroll that has so much history, it's just a wonderful blessing for us. So congratulations on that as well. So we're going to let you read over there, and I'm going to follow along here. For our aliyot, that is those who are going to come forward and bless the Torah, including, I believe, an aliyah from maybe your phone. We're going to bring up the phone if that person is there. I think that is Brooke and Boaz. Yeah, are they online somewhere? I hope that they're there. Okay, well, we'll get them, but they have a little bit of time.
And I'm going to mention, as they prepare to read the Torah, that you probably have these wonderful, soft, and cute-looking hamburgers.
And hot dogs.
And hot dogs sitting next to you. One of our traditions and our customs is to really shower the B'not Mitzvah with sweetness after they've accomplished an incredible feat, which is to read from the Torah. And so they're going to read through their entire portions, and after they're both finished, you will hear the rabbi give a resounding mazel tov. And when you hear that, that is your cue to pick up your hamburger or your hot dog and to gently shower the girls with sweetness so that they can carry some of that with them. And just a special note that typically all the kids would come up and take all the candy, but today we're not going to do that. But the Fingerhuts have been kind enough to make some special candy bags for the few children that are here to take with you. So you'll shower them with the joy, we'll leave it for them, and then you'll have a bit of sweetness to take home with you to remember this moment as well.
Thank you. This is the real reason why we have the plexiglass, right? For those of you who are going to be doing aliyot, we have a microphone set up on the side. Since we unfortunately can't share the bima with you, there should be the text of the blessing there, as well as a sanitation if you'd like to clean the microphone when you're finished. That would be appreciated. For our first aliyah, our first blessing over the Torah reading, we invite up a dear family friend, someone who's very close to my heart as well, Sierra Pritchever. Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ki tashe v'rahah mashat me'uma, lo tavo el beito, lavot avoto. Bahutz ta'amod v'ha'ish asher atah neshevo yotzi eleha et ha'avot ha'hutzah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam v'rka b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Mazal tov, Sierra. Thank you so much. You're welcome to have a seat. For our next aliyah, we're actually inviting up David and Rachel Fingerhut of their first blessing of their children. Baruch Adonai Habarach. Together. Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen. V'nin ish anihu lo tishkav ba'avoto hashev tashiv lo et ta'avot kivo hashemesh v'shahav b'somato uviraha ulaha tehiyeh seraka livnei Adonai Elohecha.
You read the other
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Mazal tov to you. We don't get to do this, but maybe the two of you could offer Lilia hugs and kisses on behalf of all of us and Sierra for offering us aliyot. The third aliyah is for Lilia herself, as we invite her up and she becomes Bat Mitzvah. Ta'amod habachura Bat Mitzvah Hinda Bat David v'Rachel aliyah leTorah.
Baruch Adonai Habarach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Lo ta'ashuk sahir ani ve'evyon me'aheha o migeraha, asher ba'artzeha bisharecha be'yumo titen seharo B'latavo alav hashemesh ki ani hu ve'elav hu nosei et namsho fel yikra aleha el Adonai v'haya v'hachet. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Mazal tov. Beautiful job. We're going to switch readers now. And Eleni, Lily, if you help her find her spot there, be very helpful. And for our next Aliyah, we'd like to invite Brooke and Boaz David Fingerhut's cousins. And if they're on a phone, they're going to come forward. We are seriously high tech here at Indianapolis Hebrew Congregation. If you want to bring them to the microphone over there, that microphone. Hello, Brooke and Boaz. Congratulations to you, Mazal Tov. And I think I see a baby there. Is there a baby too?
And a big boy, yeah.
A birthday boy?
A big kid and a baby, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Mazal Tov to all of you. We'll join in this blessing with you. Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Amen.
Amen. Lo yim tu avot al banim lo yim tu all avot. Ish beto yumatu lo tate misham al kain.
Mishpat Geryato.
Lo yim tu avot al banim lo yim tu all avot. Ish beto yumatu lo tate misham al kain.
Mishpat.
Beged almanai v'tarta ki eved hayita be'eretz mirayim Adonai Elohai misham al kain anoki matzvah lasot et havar hazeh.
Our blessing following the reading. Amen. Mazal Tov, Brooke and Boaz, to you and your family. For our next Aliyah, we're going to give David and Rachel an opportunity once again to bless their daughter. Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ki tivsor kitzirha beshadeha besharta omer bashadeha lo tashuv lekato lager lo tom v'la Adonai leman yivareka Adonai elecha behol maseyadeha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Mazal Tov to you, and hugs and kisses all around. This is our opportunity once again. Eleni, we love you, and we wish that we could all hug you and kiss you and help you find your spot in the text as we call you up for your own Aliyah. And as you, Eleni, as you bless this Torah reading, you take your place as Bat Mitzvah. Ta'amod habachura habat mitzvah Leah bat David Rachel Aliyah l'Torah.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ki tavos seitaha lo tapa'er aharha lager lo tom v'la Adonai Ki tipsor kitirha, lo tafa air aharaha, la gair, la tong vuladanaia. Ki evet ha yitap eret mitrayim, al kain, mitzirha, la tashuf et hadavar hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch atah Batra, Baruch atah Adonai.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natamanu Torah emet, Chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Torah. Amen. Mazal tov. We have a little bit of sweetness to share with these two young women. Please shower them with praise at this point. Mazal tov to all of you. If you could step back to the chair there, we're going to invite up Jessica Fagenbaum. That's another family friend who's going to help us as we dress the Torah. She's going to do that here at the table, and everything should be set for you here.
And Kira, come on up.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to leave you two to do that. Oh, I just covered up the belt, sorry.
It's okay.
The custom is that we treat the Torah scroll not only as if it were a human being in our midst, but actually as if it were royalty. So it has these very special sashes that it wears. It has a very special robe, and when we get to the high holy days, we actually change out its robes to a beautiful white robe. And if you noticed, when we put it back in the ark, it will not only be wearing sort of the jewelry, this yad, the pointer that the girls use to read from the scroll, but also it has beautiful crowns that it will wear as well as it sits on its throne. Please rise as we return the Torah to the ark. Mazal tov to both of you. That was a wonderful reading. I warned them that if they read Torah that well, that I would make them come back and do it more often. So now you're on the hook. You're going to have to schedule another visit to read some more Torah for us. We have many blessings to share with the two of you. Before we have a chance to do that, though, we'd like to invite the two of you back up and allow you a moment to share some of your own words of gratitude.
We want to thank everybody for coming today, whether in person or over Zoom. Thank you to those who came all the way from different states and countries, but also thank you to those who came from next door. We feel very supported by you and appreciate your efforts to celebrate with us today. It means so much to have friends and family from all parts of our lives on our special day.
We want to give a special thanks to all the people who taught us and helped us learn along the way as we prepare to become B'not Mitzvah. Thank you to Rabbi Brett, Cantor Aviva, Mr. Marv, and Tammy Critcher for helping us this day and feel so prepared.
We have so many great friends. I feel so lucky to have them, especially all of my dance and school friends. You're all very supportive and funny. You are so nice and care about me a lot. You are always there to help me when I need anything. Thank you for celebrating with me today.
I also want to thank my friends from camp and from school for being very supportive and kind. You guys all care so much. You are very funny. To my camp friends, thank you for making camp so amazing and helped me when I was homesick. To my school friends, I want to thank you guys for helping me in school, being funny, and actually making school joyful. It's so special that our grandparents can celebrate with us. Today, Bobby and Grandpa, thank you for letting us come to your lake house and chill there with you. You are so kind, and Bobby, you make amazing meals. And Grandpa, your jokes are the best. We love watching Bobby roll her eyes at Grandpa's jokes.
We also want to thank you for being so supportive of everything we ever do. One time you drove a really long way to watch my dance recital. That meant so much to me. We love you, Besta and Papa. It's very meaningful that you made the trip here on our special day. Papa, we remember having fun times with you, like when your tummy used to be bigger and we got to bounce on your belly laughing hard. Besta, you are so kind. We really enjoy all the loving talks you have with us when we visit you. We love you both.
Holden and Elliot, we remember when you first became part of a family.
It was very exciting, even though it was also confusing.
We remember staring at you, not knowing what we were in for.
It turned out to be awesome.
I have loved watching you guys grow up now that you are 10. You are hilarious. You always make me smile, even when I'm absolutely not in the mood. I love all the weird, very dance parties we used to have. Elliot, thank you for showing me the ways of how to make your YouTube videos. Also, thank you for having fun at camp and actually going to camp and staying. Holden, thank you for teaching me magic the correct way and for being so funny and showing me how to correctly play football. I love you both.
Holden and Elliot, I love having you guys in my life. All the times that we've hung out together have been amazing. Ever since you were babies, you've been my best friends. Holden, now that you're doing dance with me, I get to see you even more. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but it turned out amazing. You are so nice and caring and very friendly too. You're going to be an amazing dancer and you're an even better brother. I love you. Elliot, you are literally the funniest person I've ever met. When you went away to camp, the house was so dull because you weren't around to make random, silly, but funny jokes. One of my favorite memories with you is when we were on a family walk and you turned to me and said, we should run in front of everyone and do something random. So we sprinted in front and pretended that there were giant things we were stepping over. The best part was when we were pretending to step over giants and other things, and the lady across the street stared at us like we were crazy, and the dogs barked at us. It became a thing over the next few weeks, and it was one of my funniest memories with you. I love you. Mom and Dad, we're so lucky to have you, and we're so thankful you for all you do for us. I got something in my throat. Do you want to? Okay. Dad, I love you so much. Bike rides with you are the best. It's so fun to talk about random things while we ride. I love our walks too, especially arguing about which houses look the best. Thank you for being so supportive of me when I quit soccer for dance, even though you're my soccer coach. Speaking of supportive, you support me in every way I can imagine. I love all of your jokes. They crack me up, even when Mom doesn't appreciate them. Mom, I love you so much. Even when we argue about who loves the other the most, for the record, I know I love you the most. Thanks for always helping me with dance and driving me to my dance competitions. Even though dance competitions are super fun, my favorite part is always the drive there and home because I get lots of amazing time to hang out with you. I love how you and Dad still let us sleep in our room on the weekends even though we're 14.
Mom and Dad, thank you for pitting off on me about everything and any random thing. You guys have always cared about me. I love you both. Mom, thank you for literally doing at work, college, and our Bat Mitzvah, and getting me for Bat Mitzvah. I cannot even believe how much you've done to help me while you've been working so hard in your life too. You are so funny and unbelievably helpful. I love you so much. Dad, you are so funny. I love all your jokes. Thank you for being so supportive, kind, and working at Dad. I love how you always are there to introduce me to doing a new thing, like the Peloton and going on bike rides. The bike rides have always been amazing, even through sometimes when I didn't really want to go on them. Love you so much.
Oh, Lenny, I could not ask for someone better to do this with. I love you so, so much more than words can describe. Thank you for always being so supportive, funny, and kind, and so much more. I love you.
Lilia, I love you. You've always been there. You care so much. I can't imagine life without you. You are an amazing dancer. I cannot believe it. You've grown so much. I want to say thank you, and I love you more.
No. Again, thanks everybody for coming.
Feel free to stretch if you really want to, because end now.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hugs are always good. Go ahead and hug, but then I need you back.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Go back up. Us? Love you. I love you.
Come on back up, and actually, David, Rachel, we're going to let you have them here. For just a moment, if you could get close to the microphone so we can all hear you as well.
Okay. This is our speech time? Okay.
I'll get a tissue for you.
Okay. Eleni and Lilia, it is such an honor to have the chance to stand up here next to you both in front of our dear family and friends and community. And it was such a treat to watch you both do so well just now, to see the manifestation of your years of training and education. You both worked incredibly hard. You were wonderfully dedicated and committed. And I can assure you it showed just now as you read and led service today so eloquently. Well done. As I began to think of this speech, I panicked. Not for fear of public speaking, and certainly not for lack of material. I mean, I could talk for days about how amazing you both are. But who should I rave about first? You won't remember this, but when you were newborns, I would walk into your bedroom in the morning and panic. Who should I pick up first? Will they know who was first or second in my arms? What damage am I doing by lifting one up before the other? So as I speak now, I hope I'm not doing damage by having to choose an order for the speech. So I'm going to helping myself decide. I'm opting for a very scientific, tried and true approach, and that will be alphabetical order. So with that, Eleni, I will start with you. Eleni, you are such a beautiful human, and watching you grow up has been an incredible joy and honor. You are strong. You can take the mask off. You are strong, intelligent, honest, acutely perceptive, and you are giving beyond belief. You give and contribute to this world in so many ways. Even as a small child, Eleni, you were a giver and a helper. I'll never forget going to the pool with you and your siblings when you were very young. We would arrive, we would get settled, and start our fun. Are you okay? Okay, it's okay. I know, it's hard. It's dry, mask.
Take your mask off.
Yeah.
Just trying to get it. Let's take it off.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Do you want water? Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. I can talk through anything. So back to my story. I'll never forget going to the pool with you and the kids, me and the four of you. We would arrive and get settled and start having a good time. Eleni, you would immediately scope the scene. And when I say scene, I don't mean you would look for the slide or the toy. You would look for another family at the pool with young kids, younger than you, even though you were 5 and your brothers were 2. And you would march up to that family and start helping the mom with the kids at the pool. I would joke that you didn't think we were fun enough, but I knew what it really was. You love to help, and it was your way of giving. You find ways to help others whenever possible. You demonstrated this in elementary school, when instead of sitting with your friends at lunch, you would find the life skills kiddos and sit with them, help them eat. You would read books to them and help the teachers. You give. And Eleni, as a young adult, this teenager that you are, you continue to give. Through your amazing photography, you give us the chance to see beauty in the world through your eyes. And it's magnificent. And it's such a gift to all of us. Through your friendships, you give support, joy, and laughter. You are a dear and trusted friend to many. You're a gift in their lives. And Eleni, you give to our society in the way that you advocate for equality and justice. Whether you are eagerly joining or starting an equal rights advocacy club at school, selling Black Lives Matter t-shirts, or speaking up for the rights of all, including boldly asking strangers to keep their masks over their noses. You give and are a gift to the community. I have an image in my mind of you, Eleni, that I won't lose. You were 13, marching proudly at a Black Lives Matter rally just a few months ago. Were you nervous to go? Of course. But you made your sign, you made a plan, and you marched. It was impressive. Finally, Eleni, you give to our family. You love and care for us, for Lilia, for your wonderful brother, so openly and honestly and deeply. You make us laugh, you keep us afloat, you hug and kiss us endlessly. You challenge us in great ways, and you give us the gift of you. We learn from you every day. I will never be able to thank you enough for being you, so solidly yourself, for the unconditional love you give me and all you do for us. And I'm very proud to be your mother, and I'm the luckiest to have you in my life. So my wish for you is love, wellness, happiness, and the chance to give as you wish and as you deem meaningful. But I also wish a life where beauty, equality, love, and support are given to you, for you deserve it all. I love you. Mwah. I love your kisses. Now, Lilia, where to begin? You, my dear, are such an incredible human. You're kind and caring, giving and smart as all get out, and wise beyond your years. Having the chance to be your mother is an honor, a pleasure, and along with parenting your other 3 amazing siblings, the greatest thing in my entire life. The thing about being your mom, Lilia, is you make it easy. I mean, really. Since you were tiny, I swear you've been working to make our lives easier. As a sweet little newborn, you had this darling disposition. You would wake up bright and early, just cooing happy in your crib. How easy it was to wake up to that sweet voice, even with no sleep. And as you got older, it was nap time. You found ways to get yourself cozy, to self-soothe, and to sleep like a champ. Now, one of those self-soothing ways was twirling your hair out, which led to many, many, many years of baldness. But hey, it was very savvy of you. Again, making our lives easier. You were wise beyond your years as a child, and still to this day, Lilia. I'll never forget the moment you walked in the front door from a day at school in 1st grade. You had lost a tooth. While most kids would come plowing through the door, swinging their sticker and tooth in the fancy case from the nurse, you came in and started sobbing. You showed me your tooth and lamented about how bittersweet growing up is. You said you wanted to stay 6 forever, and you noted that the lost tooth was symbolic of lost time and time passing. It took me until I was so old to understand that, but you felt it deeply even as a child. And you keep such deep perspective even as a teenager. While many are counting the years until they can drive, go to high school or college, you appreciate day by day, moment by moment, and you see the little things, the good things in life, and you bring perspective to us every day. So coupled with your amazing insightfulness and maturity is your incredible ability to focus and be disciplined while also being fun, free, graceful, and downright hilarious. You demonstrate your determination in so many ways. I'm going to go back to the hair twirling bald situation. But wait, do you mind if I spend your whole Bat Mitzvah speech talking about your hair? Okay. When you were 7, you chatted to us about wanting to stop twirling your hair. It was your goal. So you wanted to have hair, we wanted to help you. We discussed, you processed, and then you committed. And I mean committed. I'm pretty sure at age 7, you made your own chart for the week, developed a plan to wean yourself off the hair twirling, had your own sticker chart, and a positive rewards plan established. And needless to say, you met that goal in rapid speed. And this sums you up in so many ways, Lilia. You set goals and you meet them. Whether it's academics or dance, pursuing equality via your Black Lives Matter t-shirt business, standing up for the rights of others even when it's uncomfortable, or being a giving, loving friend, daughter, and sibling, you're committed. It is a beautiful thing to watch you live your life. You work hard, you love fully, you dance gracefully but with ferocity and passion. You still wake up a happy little sweet pea. Instead of hearing you coo on the monitor, I hear your happy, soft voice saying good morning from your loft bed. You wake up bright and early to help get your brothers off to school and get yourself ready. Again, making our lives easier. So for all you do for us in the world, your depth and kindness, your moral compass that is right on point, your incredible dancing, also on point, your hugs, your laughter, and your love. We are all so lucky to have you in our lives. I'm so proud of you, and I'm the luckiest to be your mom. So my wish for you is that you continue to grow, to love and laugh, to continue to dance until your heart is content, and to continue to appreciate the passing of time and how sweet and bittersweet life is. And finally, I wish that the world around you makes things as easy as you make it for all of us. I love you. Mwah. You cry.
I will.
We have tissues.
I got tissues there. One of the things I've worked on throughout this terrible pandemic is to take the attitude of gratitude approach, not just focusing on things I'm grateful for, but also to express those sentiments. So I want to take a moment and to try to practice what I preach. There are many people and things I'm genuinely grateful for today. For all of you joining us in cyberspace Zoomland, if it's up and running, from as far away as New Zealand, thank you for celebrating with us. Wish things were different circumstances, but thank you for helping make it the best. I want to thank my family members and close friends who are present in the temple today for your willingness to travel to support and celebrate this day with us. It is extremely meaningful to have you all here today. I'm also appreciative of the IHC community and support through the girls' journey to today, from the Hebrew lessons with Marv Goldstein to the countless hours that Cantor Aviva, Rabbi Brett, and Tammy Kirchiver have invested in the girls' development and the B'not Mitzvah preparation. To see the amount of work that goes into it from this side is truly remarkable. So thank you for your incredible assistance. I'd like to thank your brothers Holden and Elliot for being enthusiastic supporters of your journey. Boys, you'll have your chance soon enough to be up here. Finally, I'd like to thank your mother, my wife Rachel. There's no doubt in my mind without her, none of us would be here today. It's not just that she carried you and gave birth to you, but she is a planner, organizer, motivator, supporter, and doer. The amount of things that mom can juggle and arrange with efficiency and proficiency is remarkable. So Rachel, thank you for getting us all here today in one piece. Girls, today we celebrate your transition into Jewish adulthood. When thinking about this day and your collective and individual growth, I was reminded of so many stories and transitions you've undertaken. I could drone on and on about you two. Believe me, my first speech was well over 20 minutes long. I could talk about your twin language and the imaginary friends you shared, Gerger and Mumu. Or I could share about those things I treasure that you've not grown too cool for, like flopping down a mattress in our bedroom floor for weekend family sleepovers, or nightly bedtime songs, or ad hoc family dance parties, although nowadays everyone is thankfully wearing clothes. Or I could share my thoughts about our joint experience when you were 3 and transitioning into big girl beds, in which we tested out a new parenting technique of physically redirecting you back to bed without verbally engaging you. I lost count, but I think I walked you back to your room 316 times that night over the next several hours. Watching you two on the nanny cam wake each other up, plotting and whispering to each other, holding hands in unity, charging out of your room was equally hilarious and crazy making. Pretty sure mom went into preterm labor that night with all those steps. You see, even at that early stage in your lives, you exhibited individual and unified perseverance, determination, and support for each other. Admittedly, I'm pleased and proud that your determined efforts have grown into more positively directed pursuits. How else to illustrate your growth and ongoing supportive teamwork than your choice of your mitzvah project? Throughout your B'not Mitzvah preparation, you weighed many ideas and unique interests ranging from assistance for immigrants in need to anti-bullying campaigns. Lilia, I think you had considered a dance theme project, while Lenny, you were focused on special needs individuals. Together, you finally landed on your Black Lives Matter fundraiser. While America has been awakening to racial injustice, it's easy to sit back and passively voice disapproval of racism. You have not been those people. You have been compelled to action, to research the issues, to investigate options for action, to join marches and protests, and to speak out. Finally, you've put your time and money where your mouth is by starting a t-shirt business to financially support Black Lives Matter locally in Indianapolis. It is a remarkable thing. I'm incredibly proud you have found your voice and your role you continue to play to affect change. While you two together are an amazing pair and share many wonderful traits, I do want to highlight your unique qualities. Lilia, you are an incredible person. When I think of you, immediately a smile comes to my face. Maybe this is because you always greet everyone with your own smile and expressions of love. You have a wonderfully magnetic personality. People naturally gravitate to you. You really do have a lot of your mother in you. Natural charm, dancing grace, and likability, and so much more. You are also the best audience in the world. I love listening to you talk with your friends and siblings. You're always laughing and giggling away, not laughing at people, but with people. You love body humor jokes perhaps even more than me. You're a complete goofball, and I hope that never changes. Despite your comedic side, you have a thoughtful, insightful, and intellectual side. You're able to float from a mature conversation on politics or government to giggling about the latest TikTok video with equal enthusiasm and gusto. You have natural leadership qualities. In our home, you're always at the center of the action as well, be it planning art projects or teaching dance routines. People love being around you because you're a great audience and a great entertainer and a great teacher. And although you're not the collector Eleni is, you hold the distinction for collecting more ants and fruit flies in your bedroom than anyone else, which is a feat in our house, thanks to the Ziploc bag of a festering rotten banana tucked in a far corner under your bed from a forgotten game of lunch cafeteria. Finally, you are an unbelievable, kind, and mild-tempered kid. You're the only person I know who's never used a swear word. In fact, we just started watching the TV show Schitt's Creek, and Lilia won't even call it by name because it sounds too much like a curse word. I should note that Lilia has every intention of swearing one day. She's just waiting for her last words on her deathbed to break her streak. She's been planning this for a little while. Lilia, I can't remember what we said it was going to be. Eleni, you are an amazing person. Creativity and compassion seeps from your every pore. The creations you make with your collections and treasures are extraordinary. I absolutely love your unique style, courage, and taste. I remember the outfit you made years ago out of plastic grocery bags that literally looked like it belonged on Project Runway. Your current creative outlet in photography is simply breathtaking. It must be that red-headed creative gene you inherited from your bubby and Tanta Astri, because it's not me or your mother. In addition to your creative nature, your compassion for others, particularly those who appear in need or seem different, is unending. Whether you're befriending a star student or giving away your Halloween balloon toy to a kid who missed the balloon tying event, you have a knack for helping others. My favorite Eleni helping memory occurred about 3 years ago. I had just started participating in triathlons, and my children enthusiastically wanted to do one of their own, without any training or preparation. Triathlon culture is a little crazy for adults and downright intimidating for kids. When we arrived at the race and saw the other kids warming up on $1,000 bikes and wearing tri-suits that are more expensive than the suit I'm wearing now, I thought, what the heck am I getting them into? At the starter's gun, the competitors dove into the pool aggressively, attacking the water. All but two who gently eased into the water. Maybe even one of them used the stairs to enter. Eleni waited patiently for her sister on each turn of the pool, who was either doing the backstroke or simply pulling herself along the course using the lane dividers. Finally, they made it out of the water with Eleni giving way to Lilia to climb out on the pool stairs. On the bike portion, Eleni's bike apparently malfunctioned after 100 feet and wouldn't shift. While Lilia bolted down the road to make up time, Eleni limped along in the lowest gear, making sure she gave enough space on the course path for others to pass her safely. At last, she got to the transition zone for the run portion, where I was encouraging her to stop picking up the discarded water cups from the other athletes and to run down the course to make up some time. It seemed like an eternity until she made it to the finish line a mile later, where I met her. Her first words to me were, "Daddy, I'm never doing this again." I asked her later what her favorite part of the race was, and she replied, "Helping the woman pick up the cones." Apparently, when she got to the run course, the race organizers were breaking down the course, and she actually started helping pick up the race course that she was supposed to be running. Eleni, that sums you up in a nutshell. Always looking for someone to help and running your own race. Girls, I am eternally grateful to be your dad and to witness your amazing growth. Thank you for all the blessings you've given me so far. There truly never is a dull day with you. I'm excited to witness and am honored to be part of the next chapters of your lives. Mazel tov, and I love you. Love you.
We're going to let David, Rachel, let you have a seat. The two of you can stay where you are. We know that this service is really just the beginning. There is a lot of celebrating to do and many, many blessings that we want to share with you. Tammy and I want to share a blessing from the congregation as well. God's going to let me play this time. This is called the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction. Generations ago, the high priest would stand before the Israelite people and offer them this blessing. And since those days, this has been the way that Jewish people have blessed one another. And today it is our privilege to offer this blessing to you. I think you are welcome to have a seat now. Our service concludes with a few prayers. The first is an opportunity for us to recognize this community, to offer gratitude for that community, but also to recognize the responsibilities inherent in our community together. I'd like to invite you to please rise for our Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, hatet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahen, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And at the concluding moments of our service, we pause to remember those who were taken from our community in recent days, those whose yahrzeits occur at this week, the anniversary of their passing, and especially those members of the Fingerhut's family that they are specifically thinking about and remembering on this celebration. We specifically remember Lillian and Carlisle Gantz, Helen Silverman Steinke, Ardith Ravelli, Albert Fingerhut, Ann Stevenson, Randy Holin, Robert Lipton, Burton Stevenson, Alexander Pedersen. We also remember Natalie Reed, Sasha Greenberg, and Fred Hyman, who were taken from our congregational family during the past 30 days, whose families are in the period of Shloshim, and those whose yahrzeits occur this week: Sally Barrett, Jenny Berbitsky, Sophie Bleeden, Harriet Borman, Emmanuel Berman, Ruth Kahn, Lena Cohen, Mickey Lurvy Cooley, Robert Tony Cooper, Ronald Cotman, Stanley Craig, Augusta D., Carol Finkel, Melvin First, Frida Fishova, Henry Fleck, Esther Cohen Fogel, Lillian Fox, Gary Garlick, Estelle Gaster, Justin Gould, Robert Groh, Maury Gumbiner, Robert Helford, Asher Hyatt, Norman Kahn, Rhea Krolwich, Mose Levenstein, Becky Levin, Alex Levinson, Donald Loganowski, Anita Lowe, Robert Lowe, Samuel Mantell, Beatrice Mantell, Ruth Nassau, Arnold Patterson, Isaac Perlstein, Don Rogowski, Ernest Roth, Marvin Rubner, Jane Schloss, Rodney Shepard, Sheldon Siegel, Rose Simon, Rita Stark, Marguerite Stewart, Anna Sugarman, Edward Troggett, Larry Wasserman, Edna Weiner, Louis Wolf, William Wolf, and Shirley Wormser. We say Zichronam Livracha. May all of their memories be for blessing as we turn to the words of Mourner's Kaddish in their memory. Yigadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, B'alma tivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uv'yisman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shmei dekudsha brichu. Leila minkol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom miromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. And to this blessing for peace, for our people, we add a blessing of peace for all who dwell on earth with the words V'al kol yoshvei tevel, and invite all of us to say once again, Amen. Amen. Please be seated. Must continue this moment of celebration. We hope that you'll join with us if you know the words to this. Od yavo shalom aleinu. We have a hope, a belief that peace will come. It is just around the corner if we commit ourselves to working towards it.
And I'd like to invite the Fingerhuts up to the podium while we sing. Conclude our service.
Salam shalom. We pray in Arabic and Hebrew for peace for every part of our world. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam shalom. Mazal tov, mazal tov, mazal tov, mazal tov, mazal tov, mazal tov. We love the Mass. Why don't you take the challah bread that you have there, and you can all hold it together. And some sanitization might be a good idea as well. This is a homemade challah for us to celebrate with today, right?
Yes.
So why don't we all, you all, hold it in front of you. You want to take the cover off? And pick up the tray and let your whole family hold on to it. You got to turn around so we can all see you. We join together in this blessing because we know that just as we take the raw ingredients, the wheat that grows out of the ground, we bake it and mold it into bread, so too do we take the raw ingredients of our lives. We create beautiful, sweet community and wonderful children who can lead services for us so beautifully. So, Mazal Tov to all of you. Please join with us in blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And who's going to be the first to tear off a little bit there? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, Mazal Tov to all of you. If you could all stay in your seats for just a moment, our ushers are going to come through and dismiss us by rows. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to gather here, but congratulations to you all. We look forward to a time when we can all be together.
Mazel Tov and Shabbat Shalom.
Great job.
You guys did it. Did it go fast?
Hi, honey.
Just like girls were.
Want to do it again?
Yeah, see? You want to do it again, don't you?
No.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh. As long as it didn't like roll down under the chair.